Well, welcome, Anya. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for coming.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
Welcome to ACRC Global. We're going to talk a little bit about your candle decorations event company. So you bring light and beauty into people's events and special occasions. How did you get started in that creative space?
Thank you for that question. It took me several years to realize that I may be tapping into my left brain too much. The left side of the brain responsible for being organized, structured, and I always thought that this is my strong suit, being organized, structured, working as a project manager, program manager, product manager in software industry. And I felt like something was missing. And over the years of spending more and more time with my daughter, observing her art skills, I was so inspired, and I was admiring her art skills, that she can always tap into her creativity and have sort of a meditation every day as she
Wow.
creates art.
Mhm.
I wanted to find something that will help me tap into my right side of the brain. So that was kind of one part of how I started my business.
Mhm.
The other part was very practical.
Yes, of
Of
course.
course, I had good data
Mhm.
before I launched my business.
Mhm.
A friend of mine already has something similar going on in a different location, and she gave me good data on the product that I'm using. So I went into this business really confident
Mhm.
that people will like my product.
Oh, nice.
And I think data plus that confidence truly worked in the best way. So that's how my business came to be, through inspiration given to me by my daughter and data given to me by my friends.
Oh, wow, so interesting. So is it safe
Yeah.
to say that your daughter was like, or was the inspiration behind the
Absolutely.
other business?
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely. I was looking at her and thinking, she came from me.
Yeah.
So
Those has to came somewhere from
right.
you.
Yes. I mean, she probably took after different relatives in the family,
Mhm.
but also I knew there was something from me as well.
Mhm.
And I started to question, maybe I'm not tapping into my creative side enough. Maybe I'm just acting based on some um, cultural or some beliefs that
Mhm.
have been kind of placed in my mind over the years.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
I can challenge them and
Yeah.
change them. So yes, she definitely was my inspiration.
Wow, that is so
Yeah.
interesting, and like I love that story. And we're gonna talk more about your daughter later on. But I want to know more about the feelings you get when you have decorated a venue, right? What kind of feelings are you trying to create within the people in the event?
I like that you mentioned feelings
Mhm.
because light in general is responsible for how we feel. Imagine you walk into a venue and you see beautiful furniture, you see flowers, you see food, it's inviting, but then ultimately you stay there because of the lighting and the feeling the
Oh.
lighting creates for you. So for me, lighting is very important because it helps us regulate our nervous system. And my intention when I set up my candles and create a candlelit event is for customers, for people who come to the event, to feel truly relaxed and calm, present in that moment, leaving all of the hectic feelings, moments behind. And if they can tune into feeling romantic or mysterious, that's an added bonus. So yeah, that's always my intention.
I'm really intrigued. I'd love to attend one of your events now just to experience that, like, that connection
That
with
would be
our
awesome.
feelings. Yeah, that would be
Yeah.
amazing. Um, did you always picture yourself as a mother? Was it something like you thought about since a young age, or did it grow over the time that you wanted to become a mother?
So I did picture myself as a mother, more, again, more coming from the cultural beliefs
Uh-huh.
and observing the culture that I was growing up in. women become mothers, and I didn't even question that there is any other alternative.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really know if that's what I want or not. I didn't feel any opposing feelings, but when I pictured myself as a mother, I always pictured a unit. A unit in the sense I have a partner,
Uh-huh.
and I have a daughter. For some reason, in
Oh,
my
wow.
mind's eye, I always pictured the daughter, even though I didn't have any gender preference.
Uh-huh.
It was just the picture in my head.
So the
So,
picture
yeah,
eventually
there was
matched
a
your
girl
reality.
in the picture.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is fascinating.
Yeah, so I pictured myself as a mother without giving it a lot of thought. Just kind of something that happens to all women, or not really thinking about it too much. Like something that will happen to me.
Something that will happen. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I like that part that you mentioned because of the expectations and how we're brought up probably.
Yeah.
We have the idea that this is something that will happen.
Correct. Or
Yeah.
has to happen.
Has to happen.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Shall we try those drinks? I'm
Yes.
really intrigued
Yes,
to try
please.
those. Yes, cheers.
Cheers.
Mm. It's not bad actually.
Can you
It's like,
taste honey?
no, really?
No?
Because I think I asked them.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, how about you? Do you taste the strawberry?
Just a little bit.
Yeah?
Maybe
it's more
it's
like
honey. Who
iced
knows?
coffee.
Maybe I have your drink.
No, I don't taste strawberries for sure.
Okay.
Is that strawberry or not? No, you can't tell.
I think it is strawberry. Yes. It has that freshness of the strawberry in it.
Yeah, this definitely doesn't have any strawberry or fruit in it. But yeah, that's a very interesting drink.
Yeah, refreshing.
Refreshing, yeah, exactly. So what did your vision of motherhood look like versus the reality you have right
now? Well, kind of similar to what I mentioned, I imagined a unit, this ideal relationship between my partner, this girl that I'm raising, and that we have this balanced, harmonious relationship. That's kind of a picture in my head that I was going through my 20s and partially my 30s. The reality is actually very similar.
Oh, okay.
So I'm happy and grateful that the reality is just like I pictured it. I think there is something about when we want something so much and we carry that image and we constantly elevate our emotions around that image, something about that kind of coming towards us and happening later on in life.
Yeah, I strongly believe in that, honestly. Yeah, that's all right. I hope this inspires other people to think the same way.
Yes, I hope so too.
Now, this will bring us to kind of like your journey towards motherhood. So when you first started noticing that something might be off or something might not be working when you were thinking about starting a family and creating that unit or having your daughter, what was that period like? The period of uncertainty when you didn't know exactly what was going on. How did that feel like for you?
I don't like uncertainty, like many people don't, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
I felt annoyed as well. I felt annoyed because it seemed like, why do I have to work hard for everything? And it was just a trend in my life. I felt like you have to work hard to get something. And it's a belief as well, but that's a different topic. But that's where annoyance came from, thinking, why me? Why do I have to work hard for this? Because other women just easily conceive naturally and not once or twice even. So there was that annoyance present, but also determination. Like, okay, this is not the end. This is only the beginning. I have options. I'll just keep exploring to find out what's going on. So, and knowing that I had good medical insurance because I started this process here when my husband and I moved to the United States. Knowing that made me feel really secure and like, okay, I have time. I have good insurance. I have a good selection of doctors.
Okay.
So, okay, I'm going to go with it and start my exploration.
I feel so. So I feel like that security kind of calmed down the storm of
Absolutely.
the annoyance of
Back
uncertainty.
then, it was probably the foundational thing because without it, it's really hard for you to just go on with those doctor visits every day. So yes, that was foundational.
Completely understandable.
Mhm.
Yes, for sure. So you eventually learned about
Mhm.
your diagnosis. Do you mind telling us like a bit about what the diagnosis was or how it was given to you?
So it was really well explained to me,
Mhm.
which I loved. I like understanding what's going
Of
on.
course.
I like certainty.
Yeah.
So my doctors were really good, and they explained that my tubes, both of my tubes, were closed.
Mhm.
Actually, one of them was completely closed. The other one was open partially, but it had hydrosulfings liquid in it,
Mhm.
which was later on in the process of IVF, we had to address that. But ultimately, what was explained to me is that my tubes are not letting the egg meet sperm to create an embryo. So that was very visual, and I knew, okay, so how do we fix it?
Yes, exactly. Tell me how to fix it.
Right,
Now I know
and
what it is.
exactly.
Did they tell you that IVF was your only option back then?
Yes, they did.
Mhm.
They did mention to me that there are old procedures like uh, clearing the tubes,
Mhm.
but that it was a pretty archaic procedure, and they no longer practice it because it's a painful procedure, and it doesn't result in actually tubes opening up and helping conceive. So they said they sent people to IVF as soon as they diagnose.
Sounds like that.
Hmm.
Okay. Um, okay. This is a question actually. I was like thinking about it and writing it, and I was like thinking a lot of people relate to this because a
Hmm.
lot of people describe the infertility diagnosis or when they receive infertility diagnosis as grief. You're like
Hmm.
grieving a journey or like you're
Hmm.
grieving the version of the journey that you had created for yourself.
Hmm.
Was that the same for you?
No, it was not. I know what grief is.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I can say so confidently. It wasn't, I didn't feel grief. I think for me, grief is when you know for certain that you lost something or someone.
Mm-hmm.
At that point, when I was given the diagnosis, I felt really hopeful.
Okay.
There were options. I haven't tried all of them yet.
I
So
see.
I was not in a place to feel grief yet.
Mm-hmm.
Annoyance, yes. Why do I have to work hard?
Yes.
And then a bit of a victim kind of state of mind.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
why
yeah.
does this happen to me?
Mm-hmm.
Also, sadness once in a
Of
while.
course.
Sadness.
Of course.
Like, why? What? Maybe I have done something wrong. Like, is my body like that? So, no, there was no grief. But of course, it was my only first attempt. I
Mm.
have, I was very hopeful.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine that women who have tried IVF once and it didn't work out, there is a tendency to feel grief. There would be a tendency to feel grief. So I could relate
That's true.
to it
That's true.
because it would probably lower the confidence
Mm-hmm.
level of being able to get pregnant that way.
But at that point, you were just hopeful because you had
Mm-hmm.
your options, right? Your
Yes.
options were laid down for you. You
Mm-hmm.
felt there's hope. I'm gonna do this,
Yes,
right?
and at that point, I trusted doctors
Mm-hmm.
very much.
As we all love to like feel that trust, right? Like when you go to
Yeah,
a doctor and you're putting your
mm,
body and your whole life in their hands, that trust is
absolutely,
very important,
of
right?
course. And I was lucky to find really good doctors who helped me develop that trust for
That's
them.
so
Yeah,
good to hear. That's so good. I think it's crucial to
yeah,
find the
absolutely.
right person, the right doctor.
Mm,
Okay, so it was in grief, and luckily for you, like
mm-hmm,
you said, you were hopeful, you had your options, and the good network of doctors around
mm-hmm,
you. What about guilt? So guilt
mm-hmm,
is something many intended parents or many parents starting an
mm-hmm,
assisted fertility journey feel. that guilt that sometimes it's described as like, did you feel that your body failed you in a way, or your body
Mm-hmm.
kind of let you down in a way, because
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't, like you said, you had to work hard for it. Other
Yeah.
women, like, or a lot of other women, that would be very easy for them. So did you feel something like
I actually did.
that?
So this question is so interesting, and it is. There's so much to explore here, but the short answer is that yes, I did feel guilt coming from the culture where I was growing up.
Yeah.
And even though we are an advanced society, more or less, we understand why women can be I don't want to use this as an old word, barren, but why women can have challenges. Sometimes we understand there's science to it, but still, somehow I grew up with these concepts of that this was somehow my fault.
Oh,
That's
the worst.
later in life, I was able to address those false beliefs. So now I don't have them. But back then, as I was going through this process, and I didn't really have anyone to tell me that, oh my goodness, are you crazy? This is not you. It's just so simple. This is your body, and this is what's wrong, and we're going to fix it. Something like that, you know? But yes, I went through a period of feeling that guilt. Maybe I have done something wrong in my life prior to getting to starting trying to get pregnant, and this is the consequence. Like I am being almost punished for something. So I had that time when I felt that way. Truly,
I know,
yeah.
this is, I'm sorry to hear that. It's just not, like, not a nice feeling for anybody, and you experienced it. But I'm glad you said that you're over this now, and you know for sure, 100% as a fact.
I have to mention, though, I think a lot of women specifically tend to feel this way.
Yes.
But I am happy that my husband was always there, and he would always stop me. I'm like, what are you talking about? No, 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 no. This is not true. He didn't know how to address. He's not a psychiatrist or a therapist to address those types of emotions. But at least he was there for me to tell me that no, this is all about a problem and there is a solution to it. Focus on that. There is nothing else.
There's no guilt in there.
Right,
exactly.
Yeah.
I think it's very important to have a strong support system, and I'm so glad to hear that your husband was very supportive and understanding. Yeah.